Okay. All right. Oh, what happened to my camera there? There we go. Okay. Well, uh, made it back a bit later, but better late than never. And see, where did I stop at? Oh, that's right, level 26 on my Shaman. So, um, bit excited, not game wise, but life wise as well. I've been, making a few notes here. I've been working on my Texas insurance license. Tomorrow I got my last big day of studying, and then if I have the time, there's like an online test you take. So since Diablo goes live tomorrow as well, like I should have enough time for both, but we'll see. And then that'll tell me my next step for what I plan on doing, for real life stuff next week. But for now, I got all the core things I needed to do today wise for that, so get to relax a little bit and try to have some fun. So, yeah, where I left off yesterday is I think I was trying to kill a million of those spiders. Started remembering, wait, I think this is the quest where you try to kill a bazillion of these things and it just takes forever to get the creeper thing. So, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do the quest where I need to kill the humanoids and stuff, and then just try to kill a bunch of spiders. And if it's just not happening, then maybe I abandon that quest and move on and turn in the others. I also have to remember that there's like level 28s uh, and higher, I think, with where I'm going, so I need to be careful to make sure I don't catch any pats that, can kick my butt. So, with that being said, I think all I'll do is I'll load in and switch the overlay over. And for a part of it, I think what I wanted to try to do is every now and then I watch some stuff with the comedian Chrissy Meyer or Mayer. I'm so bad with keep saying Meyer. Um, and we'll listen to her. She does a podcast in the mornings and sometimes has guests with that. And Lila Hart, one of her friends that opens for her for some of her comedy routines, is apparently the one that they're chatting with. So I think what I'll do is kind of go over that, see what they're going over, and we'll just have some fun leveling up in the process.
Oh, welcome to a wonderful, whimsical afternoon edition of the Chrissy Mayer podcast. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, YouTube when they'll have me, Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the internet. And guess what? I'm going to be all over New Jersey next month.
Maybe raining.
I'm going to be performing at Tiff's Ale House in. Where's my website? It's always the last place you look. Here it is.
Be funny if the first
Tiff's
creeper
Ale
I kill
House
actually gets
on
one.
Saturday, July 8th.
Of course, that guy gets
Yeah,
it.
baby. I'll be headlining. Keanu Thompson will be there. It's going to be fun. Then I'll be in Richmond, Virginia, headlining the Sandman Comedy Club Wednesday, August 9th. Then we got Anime Matsuri coming up. I've never been to this convention before. I'm so excited to go. I've also never been to Houston before. I think I see another pair of cowboy boots in my future. I don't know for sure, but that usually is what happens. That's going to be August 10th through the 13th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Simpcast will be at this convention. We'll have a panel, we'll have a booth. I'm 90% sure Lila Hart will be there, but she's going to confirm with me.
Oh, this
She
is
will
Anime
be on
Matsuri. That's
the
one I've never
program
been
shortly.
to. I definitely would
Then,
love to go to that one.
yes, of course, because she'll be at the Houston show. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong.
I ran a booth
And if that's the case,
at
then
two
I look
different
silly.
cons before. I'd
I'll be
actually like to
headlining
get
in
back into
Houston at the
that as
Secret
well.
Group Friday, August 11th. Nice and early show, 7 o'clock. Get your tickets if you know you're going to be at the convention. That way you have plans. You have things to do. You can wear your cosplay there. It's a no judgment zone. Minimal judgment.
And I
Some
split it.
judgment. But it'll be fun. What's up, Torgo the White? Very late and very Target. Yes. Target.
Very
Poor
late, very
Target.
Target.
Target is reeling right
Yeah,
now.
losing
Okay,
9
well, there's
billion
so
in
much to discuss,
stocks
and my
and
gosh, this is
merchant
going to be more just like
or lost
the
revenue,
internet
or
witnessing a
due to
catch up
lack of
between
revenue is
two
certainly not
besties.
good, huh?
You know her, you love her. She's a comedian and a documentary filmmaker. She made the American history of voter fraud, and I think there's another one coming out soon about Fauci. So excited for that. Welcome to the show, a regular. You know her from Simpcast, Lila Hart.
Hello.
Hello. Frank and I were arguing this morning on whether or not I have allergies because I had a couple days ago like a sore throat, like it hurts when I swallow. Now less so, but a
What
couple
the
days
hell?
ago. And then I woke up one morning and like
There's a lot of pollen
coughed
up
up
in the
something
Northeast.
insane. Like I don't
She's
know.
in New
This
York,
doesn't
right?
happen often. It's like one of those things where you're like, wow, either I smoke too many cigars, which is not that many, or I have lung cancer. Like, you ever, and I don't know, maybe this is not the way to start the show, but like, you ever wake up in the morning and you just cough up something, you're like, wow, like concerning?
That spell isn't ready.
That's what happened to me.
That's not
And,
good.
but it's like grandma always says, better out than in. And now I just have a runny nose, and I'm just blowing my nose, and I feel congested. But I just don't think that this is allergies.
Well, if it's allergy, you could just take like an Allegra or something.
The problem is I don't want to identify as a person with allergies because I see it as a weakness. So I just would rather it be a cold than, something to add to my bio.
Yeah.
Person with
chronic attack.
allergies. Ugh, I don't like
And also, but it could be like if it is allergies, it's like a seasonal change, and that's usually when allergies occur. So Frank might be right on this one.
Ugh, I'm so annoyed. I've got my whole adult life
Dude, those
without
guys
having
just
allergies.
respawn one
Well, I have
after
a
the other.
shrimp
That's
allergy, but
ridiculous.
there's not shrimp, flying at you when you go outside.
Remember when we ate calamari and you ate it like a bunch of it, and then you were like, "Wait, is this shrimp?"
And I think it. Wait, where were we?
We were in Vegas at that hotel, getting a tour.
Right, they had
Calamari,
they gave
squid,
us
right?
like a tempura platter, and I think I was like biting into something, and it was shrimp, and I was like, what? But I have a fun shrimp allergy. Like I don't carry an EpiPen. I don't alert the waiter when I'm ordering. Like I just go with the flow. Like if shrimp happens upon my plate, I just give it to somebody else. I'm not trying to get the whole table involved with my allergies.
That's nice.
So I just don't like that. I don't like when somebody gets the whole. Kids is one thing, but like I think by the time you're an adult, you should know generally like what you can and can't eat. And I just don't think that should be everybody's problem. But I don't know. I'm not talking about anybody.
But I don't have any allergies.
I just think it's fun. It's also fun to be like in the middle of eating something that you know you're allergic to, and then just sort of gingerly cough it up into a napkin, and then just go along with the conversation.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I found out that you had a shrimp allergy when I thought you had eaten a whole plate of shrimp, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad. Oh, what are we gonna do?"
I immediately like because my throat doesn't close up with shrimp. My lips just blow up to 3 times their size, and it looks like the last time this happened to me, it was 2006 or 7, and I had just started a new job. I was working at like a company that represents news talent. So like they represented
That's a
Carmen
Taylor.
Brown. What the hell was her name? She was a CNN reporter. They represented Lori Doone or Lori Dew. I'll never forget this Lori Dew reporter. She came in, and I've always been the assistant, like at every job I've ever had. She's like, "Do you have any flavored seltzer?" I was like, "Lady." I was like, "I'm drinking old water out of an old water bottle. It's been sitting on my desk for a month. Like, do you think we have even regular seltzer?" Anyway, what was the point? Oh, so that happened to me. The allergy thing happened. My lips blew up major. They blew up like crazy. They're huge and they were very itchy, and they stayed that way like at least a week or two. And it didn't occur to me to take Benadryl or do anything. I just would put concealer like over my
Well, there's
lips.
a bunch of
Like I thought
peasants,
that was gonna
but
hide it,
I don't
and it
see
looked
the named
fucking
farmer guy.
crazy.
Oh
My
my
boss was like, "Oh, I thought you had bad Botox." And this is
Oh
like
my
a long time ago. Well, not that. Yeah, it's kind of a long
Like
time
lip
ago.
injections.
Yeah. And I had just started this job, so I couldn't call out sick. It was so embarrassing. I'm trying to like have a conversation, and I had these big, crazy shrimp lips.
That's wild.
And then people are like, "Oh, that sounds like it would be attractive. Everybody likes big lips." I'm like, "No, what I had was not attractive. Itching them all
Fish
day."
lips.
That's funny.
And it was annoying because I loved shrimp. I ate it so much. I ate it all the time. I would eat buckets of it.
Oh, I love shrimp too. And crawfish. Have you had crawfish? Are you allergic to crawfish?
Yeah, they're cousins.
Oh, goodness.
They're basically, and I've had so many shrimp close calls, like in
Come on.
Queens. There's bodegas everywhere where I was living in Astoria, and I was
The
eating these
farmer
rice
is over
crackers and
there.
have these like
That's
these
where.
Asian grocery stores all over. And so I'm like eating these rice crackers. I'm like, these are great. And I'm like, these smell like a little something. And I look on the back, and the fucking prawns is an ingredient in these rice crackers.
Oh,
I'm eating these
no.
fucking shrimp crackers, just eating away, just
You
in
see,
That's
my
not
bed.
good.
you can't have shrimp chips. I love shrimp chips.
They were so good, and I was like, well. And then I have to quickly think, like, what do I have to do tonight? Do I have a show? Do I have something important? Like, can my face blow up today? Can I fit it into the schedule? But it hasn't happened in so
Wow.
long, and
They
I've always either
respawn like
spit the thing
crazy.
out, or a couple times I think I tried to make myself throw the thing up. But I haven't had a full-blown lip out situation. So I wonder if the allergy has gone away, which in that case, I have to set aside a day to like eat shrimp and see what happens, because I want to see if it's still there.
That would be interesting. You should film it when you do it.
But I'm gonna have
Do
shrimp
it
night.
live.
I'm gonna make sure I don't have any gigs, and then I'm just gonna have shrimp night. Yeah, maybe I'll make it a thing. I meet up, be like, "Do you have an old allergy? Are you wondering if you still have it? Like, come bring that thing, and we'll all eat it together, and we'll either be fine or someone will end up in the hospital."
Oh, yeah, that sounds real safe.
Funny.
But
I don't
anyway.
think I have any allergies. You know what's weird? I'm supposed to have a latex allergy because most people would spine a bit, but I have
That's
a latex.
hot. That's hot. The boys love that.
But I don't think I do. I don't have an allergy. I don't think I have
Did
allergies.
she say
Usually it's
latex
single horny
allergy?
men who seem to all have the latex allergy, from my experience.
That's funny.
Oh my god, Frank's gonna have shrimp while going down on me. I think one time, I don't know if I had ice in my mouth or maybe I had seltzer in my mouth, and I tried to go down on Frank. He's like, "What the fuck?" Like it burned or something. And I thought I was being cute. It might have been seltzer. I might have had seltzer in my mouth. Like I thought the bubbles would like bubble up his dick. It didn't.
Maybe do it with Pop Rocks.
You'll feel gentle explosions. That's
Gentle
fun because you
explosions.
always try to mix it up. You
What
gotta
on earth?
Spice it
you gotta
up.
keep it spicy. We went to a strip club
Oh,
last Saturday,
fun.
the first time in years. And so it's been so long that I forgot the strip club etiquette. I didn't know how much money to throw at my friend on stage. A woman came over, I gave her $20, and I was like, I kind of wanted her to go away, but then she stayed, like the mariachi band. So
That's so. Chrissy, I don't know if you know this, but I was a cocktail waitress at a strip club for 3 days
3 days.
when I was 18. Yeah, I think it was like I came back for like a semester. Well, when I was in college, I came back for winter break, and all my friends were working there. They're like, just come you could be a cocktail waitress, and you can't. They didn't even serve alcohol. It was like I was selling Coca-Cola,
Cocaine.
yeah,
Coca-Cola.
cocaine, and you would like I made friends with the
Cocktail with it.
strippers, and then you would like try to get the guys to go to like your stripper friends, and then at the end of the night, like the strippers would like tip me
You
because
were a
I would,
pimp.
yeah.
You were like a mini Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Did you feel it was a slippery slope into stripping? Like you would have an easy.
You want to know what's well? I know because it's like I've spina bifida, so at that time in my life, I was like really insecure about my body. You know what I mean? And but I remember we had to wear these like cute little corsets and have like a little skirt. I worked there for 3 days.
Dude, that guy just took off.
Now you'd have to pay the big bucks to see you strip because you're a
Yeah.
married woman.
I'm a married woman.
I didn't put on my ring today. I am having a. I'll put it on later before I go out into the world.
Mm.
Do you wear yours to sleep?
No, I don't wear it to sleep. I wear it when I'm on shows. I wear it on stage, but like I just wear it like when I get my nails done.
Yeah.
So, but like if I'm just like going to the grocery store and I'm like not really dressed up or anything, I'm like, well, I want to keep it safe, you know?
I know, because I bought in Vegas, I bought a dummy ring. I bought like a fake engagement ring because I'm like, well, I don't want to lose the action. I made the joke on stage, like, I don't want to lose the ring inside a man's asshole. That's obviously a joke, but I didn't want to, like, I didn't even wear the real one to the strip club the other night because I'm thinking of a nightmare scenario where I have a Cardi B situation where I get drugged and then somebody pulls my ring off. Or somebody does like a sleight of hand and tries to pull a quarter out of my ear, but then I look down and my ring is gone.
Yeah, I'm pretty selective
That wouldn't
about
be
when I
good.
wear it too. But it's like if I feel like this, I'm like I'm gonna be on Chrissy's show. So that's okay. Show
I
off
know
my
now.
hands. You like my hands?
Now I feel so empty and single. I feel like I have loser hands. Look at my loser hands.
Oh, this is funny. I was out the other night and I was at the comedy club and people were like, "Where's your husband?" I'm like, "He's right here."
Like I keep him in this locket, and then you open it. It's like ah. Oh my gosh, Lila, so much has happened. I feel like I miss you so much because we did that trip together.
Get him. No, it's so fun.
And now it's like I have FOMO, friend FOMO.
But you have Bucky there to remind you.
I do. Oh my god.
Full DPS.
I pull him
Strength
into
of
like
Earth,
every
and
stream
fire
now.
totem.
Oh, Bucky.
I love Bucky. And this would be perfect in case I want to put a camera in his eye. Bucky sees everything.
And it says, "Don't mess with Texas." That's right.
He's so cute. I love his
About to
little
say, is that
shirt.
thing
I
gonna
could put this
be-
shirt on maybe Waffles. No, Waffles is too big. Tell me about
just
you
do
just had a
that so they're out
show
of
with
there.
Alex Stein in Austin at the Vulcan.
Vulcan Gas Company. It was great. I hosted the show for
I assume
Alex.
there's
We had
cavern
JDT
down there or
was
something,
there, which is
huh?
Alex's producer, Tim Warner, and which very funny guy, and another guy.
He's a comic?
Yeah, he's a comic. And Ty Rivera. He popped in.
Hi.
A guest
other
spot.
farmers up
And
here.
oh my gosh, Chrissy, it was like the highlight of my night. It was amazing.
Isn't he Vegas based?
Oh, Farmer
No,
Gets
he
is
actually
in
moved to
here.
Austin.
somewhere, okay.
Oh wow. I had him on like one of my early podcast episodes, but he's just so funny and delightful, and I appreciate because he's gay but like kind of based.
Oh my gosh, he crushed it. It was incredible. And then I brought him up as his thing is that he's the world's best LGBT community. It's the best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
I love that.
He says on his podcast Unbothered. But it was amazing, and the crowd just loved him. And it was so cool of Alex to, give him a guest spot. Because I got into town and I texted Ty because I knew he lived in Austin, and I was like, "Hey Ty, we're at the Vulcan tonight. Come through. I wanted to introduce him to Alex." And he got there while I was already on stage, and him and Alex met. And Alex actually had like seen like his show Unbothered because he had a clip where he talked about I think like Leah Thomas and different LGBTQ stuff. And it's gone pretty big on YouTube.
Oh wow.
So they like met in the hall or like in the green room, and then Ty came downstairs and he's like, "I'm gonna do a guest spot." I was like, "Oh my god, this is so great.
Yay.
It was fun. And then Owen Schroyer was
that
there,
person.
and
No, that's two
Rob from
people going crazy.
InfoWars, and then Alex actually brought Owen on stage.
It's too far.
It was really
I wish I could have seen this because just from my interactions with Owen and doing shows with him, Owen, I think he has a great sense of humor. I think I think he's very curious about the idea of doing stand-up. I think he's fascinated by stand-up comedy and comedians. And like you notice this too. There's different types of people who tend to like really like and be fascinated by comedians. There's some that are just chuckle fuckers, mostly just like women who are fans and like are just banging someone to either like they're open micers or they're just fans and they just want to fuck as many comedians as possible. Then there's like a guy who just wants to. I experienced this when I was single. They want to date you, and then it comes out on the first date that like how do they get into comedy? Which I will terminate the date immediately upon hearing that. I'll be like, check please. That's intolerable. Like you cannot take someone out on a date just to find out how to get into comedy.
yeah.
I remember I had
Oh,
a
that's
pen
neat.
pal in jail a couple of years ago. A random guy reached out to me and it was like, I got this email like, will you accept a message from, I forget the name of the company, but it was like Jail Corps or something like that, CORPS or something. And it was like a jail server. And I was like, okay, accept. And it was this guy, Jermaine. And he got locked up for like car stuff, like stole a car or whatever.
Oh, Farmer
We had a
Gets
couple of
starts
like
in
back
there.
and forths. And
Alright.
then I remember still seeing my therapist at the time, and she was like, you know, you probably shouldn't like have a back and forth with somebody in jail because a lot of times, like when they get out, the
What
first
on earth
person
is going on here?
the jailbird will kill will be the pen pal, and sometimes the pen
goodness.
pal's boyfriend.
Wow.
And that gave me pause because I didn't want that. But then he asked me about comedy, and I was like, that's it. I'm fucking done. Like, I know you're in jail, but like, where do you get off asking me? That was so annoying to me. And I was like, okay, I'm done talking to you, Jermaine. Goodbye. If you're listening to this, Jermaine, I hope you understand, and I hope that you don't try to kill me.
Oh, I killed Farmer
And then
Kabbalah.
there
That was
is
with that one.
those are the intolerable
need Farmer
types.
Ray and
Then
Farmer
there's people who are
Gets.
just sort of like they have it in them to be.
Aye.
They're very funny and they could possibly be good. Like I think Marshall, our friend Marshall Beaupre, is one of these other types where
Marshall.
he's so funny. He has an entertaining like he has the comedy bug. Like he appreciates it. He's a little bit of a comedy nerd. Respects it, but he is entertaining himself and almost like a little bit of a peacocky element to his personality, but like not sure how and where to direct it. Because a lot of these people, like, yeah, you have a regular job, but not everybody can just drop everything and pursue comedy. And Owen strikes me as somebody who I think could be funny or maybe wants to be funny, but like doesn't know how to direct it. He's somebody I think if he were thrown onto like if he did a show on like Compound Media or did like Compound Media type podcasts, he would
might as well
learn
just
that
kill
rhythm,
stuff,
that like
gain
quick
experience.
podcast rhythm and that
While we're
wit
doing
and
all
that
this.
quickness that you need to have to sort of like keep up and banter. So I'm very curious how he did because he is funny, but I think he just doesn't know like how to apply it.
Yeah, it was. So what happened was Alex was on stage with this other comedian, but I think he does like voice acting, and it was a guy who was imitating Klaus Schwab, and so he earlier that before the show started. Alex told me Owen was going to come, and I was like, "Oh, Alex!" I was like, "That's awesome!" I was, Owen wants to do stand up. I just like casually said that to Alex, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to bring him on stage then." And so
he told you he wanted to do stand up, or you just said it.
Owen Schroyer, like the first time I met him at in Austin, it was also the first time I met Matt Baker. We were all in like this
Matt Baker was my heckler, by the way, in San Diego. This was the most insane thing, and we've talked about this, and there's been clips, but he was like sitting right in the front row. He was like VIP. We like, gave him like, hey, come to the show. Of course, we want to meet you because you had worked with him. But then he ended up like inadvertently like heckling the shit out of my set and like was drunk and he was like, ha ha. He was like doing all these weird laughs.
Right in the front too. And also it was that stage where there was no stage. It was like, remember there wasn't it
That
wasn't
was
a
horrible. We were just standing on the ground, which is horrible for you because you're just at eye level with the people sitting down.
stage. Yes.
What the fuck?
Oh
I
my
was so annoyed by that.
But so
That's a lot of guys that just
anyways,
come
the
back all of a
first day that
sudden.
I hung out with them, they were asking about stand up, and that's when Owen like, you know, kind of said like, oh, I'd love to do stand up. And I think that
Oh,
it's
give me a break.
comedy is it's like the most difficult form of public speaking. So if you're somebody that likes to be on stage or like, you know, you have that charisma and that presence already, like who wouldn't want to make people laugh? Like it's so cool and powerful. Anyways, I thought it was awesome that Alex was like, I'll just bring him on stage. He didn't even tell Owen he was going to do this, by the way. So
I'm gonna put a link
I'm
to
sure he hated
Chrissy's
so Alex
show
is
so
doing
people
kind of this
know.
act out with Klaus Schwab and am I saying his last name right?
Schwab.
Schwab,
Yeah.
And
You say Klaus Slob. That's funny
yes,
too.
Schwab. And then he's like, Owen Schroyer's in there. Owen, get up here, Owen. And then he like gives Owen a
He shit
microphone.
his
And then
pants.
the three of them are on stage kind of doing this like back and forth talk. So it wasn't necessarily like stand up where you're alone
Okay.
completely, you know, but it was more of like them on stage asking
Like
questions.
training wheels.
Yeah, it was training wheels. That's perfect. And then I went up to
Improv
Owen
slash
afterwards and he
BSing,
said that
that
he was
kind
like,
of
oh, that
stuff.
was really fun. And he was like, I think that could be really good if we like actually had something planned. And it's like, yeah, but also kudos to him for being brave enough to just get up there and try it, you know. And so that was
Well,
good.
he would have looked like a pussy if he was like pimped into being on stage. That's the do or die moment right there. If you can be pimped into going on stage, then it's like that's a step. You know what I mean? Because if he was like, no, 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 then that's a person who's never gonna do stand up.
Yeah.
But if you can go up there and be like, you know what? Let's see what happens. I could make a total fool of myself, or something fun might happen. So that's a really good sign.
Yeah, and I also think like, you know, there's different types of humor. It's like it's one thing where you can be like funny in front of your group of friends, but stand up is really this art form because when you're up there, we just make it look like this is the first time that we're saying things. You know, and like Chrissy, you are so good at freaking crowd work. Like you're so quick with it when you like talk to people. Like I've been hosting several shows like the last couple weeks since we got back from being on tour, and I've been trying to talk to people and like try to like ask them questions so that I can kind of like incorporate my jokes into it. But it's been so cool to like be on tour with you and really like get to watch you do that so much because that is such a skill to like talk to them and then come up with something quick and then go back into your set. Where it's like for me, like I just have my set, so I'm like trying to work on being a little bit more brave and kind of talking to people.
That's so great. And if you can do that and not completely lose track of your set and your order, then that's great. But if you do it and you're like, and it throws you off, but I think if you can just boil it down to like the baseline topics of like what people do for work, their
Okay, so
relationship
Farmer Ray's
status,
the next one.
yeah, maybe obvious like ethnicity that you can look at and you can make like, and it's always fun to like, it just depends. Like if people are talking and are
So Farmer Ray
contributing.
come out of this house?
I almost said it the way Venti says it, contributing. If people are contributing, that's great. But sometimes people are stiff. And when people are stiff and not giving you anything and you want crowd work and you want to like the
Yeah,
more
I actually
crowd
went
is
to
leaned into
Chrissy's
the show,
thing
the
and
more invested
Lila
they'll
was
be, the more
there.
interested they'll
And
be,
overall
the
her
more
set
the
was
less likely they'll
entertaining.
be to check
The
out.
only
And, like, of
thing
course,
that
like,
I
I don't
noticed
know. I'm not saying anything you don't know, Lila.
with
I think it's more
hers,
for the
and it was
more
actually
people
her host as
and
well,
but if people
is
are
they had a
giving you nothing,
tendency
then I think it's fair to like start
to
making
try to explain
declarations
their
in the
joke
crowd.
after the
Just
fact,
dive the picture.
where it
You're
was
gay.
already
Great,
funny.
now we got the gay guy for the rest of the night. Like anytime there's a gay joke or a gay moment, we can reference this guy.
But then
And people are not genuinely offended by this.
like they would like
It's
repeat the
people, I
pun,
think, especially if they're
or
sitting
whatnot.
in the front 2 rows.
And I was like, that was my
you
only
have to sense
critique that I
something might
thought
happen,
felt
like, you might be
was
called into something. If
unnecessary.
you really don't want to be talked to, like you're probably going to be sitting in the
So
back.
for me, that
it's
could just be
very
a simple
rare that
like
someone is sitting
nerves
in the front
thing
of
to
a
where
comedy
you
show, like,
eventually just clean
completely
that
against
kind of
their
stuff
will.
up as you do your comedy
I
sets.
just have never heard of anyone being forced to sit way up in the front. And a lot of times, like, if someone doesn't want you to talk to them, they'll be like, oh, they'll point to their friend, because you'll see that a lot. Like, oh, they've been married 10 years, and it's kind of like, talk to them. And then I go, bitch, like, you started this. Now I'm talking to you because you're pointing at your friends, which means you don't want me to talk to you, which means I'm going to talk to you. But like, and I learned that from watching, I was really inspired by Aaron Berg's crowd work. He was a comedian who was at Compound Media for many years, and a little bit from like Big J Okerson, a little bit from this guy Larry Baya, who used to kind of host some of the Compound Media shows. But he's like, I think we saw him in Texas. No, not Texas. When we were at the Comedy Store that one night.
Oh yeah,
that black guy.
yeah.
He's fun. So I always like observing someone who gets a strong reaction from the crowd during their hosting set. You know who I've been watching a lot of lately? And I think it was somebody in LA who told me to look out for him. And 'cause they mentioned him because they're like, oh, he's really cute. He's really popular with the ladies. I think his name is Matt Rife, R-I-F-E. And he does incredible. He's somebody I would love to interview. He does incredible crowd work, and he has so much fun. And I've been inspired by him lately, just because he like doesn't give a fuck. And
Neck
he's
was a
very
little
quick.
stiff there for
Yeah,
a
his
bit.
crowd work is on point. Have you seen the one where he's
Make sure this
the lady
guy isn't
brought him, like,
upstairs, is
cookies?
he?
Oh, cookies and then shirts, and then he does a great job of like charming the crowd, but then also like,
I mean, it's
making fun
possible
of them
he
at the
could
same time. He
be.
doesn't treat them with kid gloves. He's not like avoiding certain groups of people. He makes declarations. He makes
Enraged
like racist
Stanley.
jokes, but then he's like, "Come on,
Is
he's
killing
so
Stanley
good.
a
I'm
part
really
of the
inspired
thing?
by that
Or
kid."
do you have to kill
Um,
Stanley for the farmer to
Which
come
brings
out?
me to this article, which I saw just before we went live, even though it's published
Why
a
are you
week
level
ago.
23 right here?
Are leftists simply too delicate for comedy? So Frank sent this to me, and I thought, oh, this will be
Oh,
good
he
to talk
leveled
about.
up.
Not realizing I am the
Does
subject
the
of
farmer
this
come
article.
out yelling?
And I was like, all right, how is this gonna go? I've never heard of the Trill Mag. I don't know if this is left or right, what the event is. I said, let's read. Okay, there's a picture of somebody with a mask that says transphobia is not a joke. So I'm like, who knows? With jokes about transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, an NYC comedian, sparked a debate about whether leftists are compatible with comedy. Now, remember this as I read this article, because this person's beef is with whether or not leftists are compatible with comedy, which was something they pulled out of like a Fox article. Earlier in May, stand-up comedian Chrissy Mayer upset her audience members after making jokes about Dylan Mulvaney. As a transgender person, Mulvaney has been the subject of much ridicule. Most recently, Bud Light drinkers spewed hate. First of all, is anyone a Bud Light drinker? No one's a Bud
I
Light
always love it
drinker.
when you
I think
clear
you
a
drink Bud
place
Light
out and then
because it's
somebody else
there
has
and
to
it's
come
cold
in, huh?
and it's cheap. But anyway, the Bud Light drinkers spewed hate after Mulvaney posted a video holding a can of beer with her face on it on May 7th. By the way, it was May 6th. Okay, let's fact check you right there. What's your name? Nick Harper. Okay,
And
it was May.
you only upset like 4 people.
It
not
was
the
May.
entire-
Yeah, it was
not
May
the entire-
6th. It was four land whales. Okay, they took up the space of 8 people, but there was only 4 of them. On May 7th, listeners interrupted. Listeners, first of all, you're calling them listeners. This is how I know this person doesn't go to comedy, doesn't like comedy, doesn't appreciate comedy. You're calling them listeners. Interrupted Mayer's performance at the Hyenas Comedy Club in defense of Mulvaney. Mayer later posted the clip on Twitter, and it has since gone viral. Thank you very much. In the clip, Mayer misgenders Mulvaney and bashes her for not having gender-affirming surgery. Why has it been a year of girlhood and still no tits? That's day 1, okay, Mayer said, referencing Mulvaney's series 365 Days of Girlhood. She then poses the question, why no tits for Dylan? To which an audience member responds, because he's a man. Mayer repeats the audience member's comment in agreement. A quote, delicate audience member then yells, no, she's a woman. Following that outburst, Mayer defends her joke by saying, uh-oh, we have one of those. How is that me defending the joke? That's me just acknowledging what's happening in the room. Uh-oh, we have one of those. It's all good. We can have different beliefs, okay? This is what I hate about it. She cuts out the funny part of the bit. I said some of us can believe in reality and some of us can't, which is the fucking joke. But she just does an ellipse. Is this what this is called, an ellipse, when it's 3 dots?
Yeah.
A group of women is then women. She should put a women in quotes. A group of women is then seen leaving the venue, one of them shouting, F you, transphobe. Mayor claps back with, is that the best you can
Okay,
do?
that one's
She then
complete.
proceeds to make jokes about the weight of the women who left, telling them to look out for poachers who are, quote, going to want their tusks.
So this
She
thing
later
is,
revealed
these
that the group
people
of women
pat
walked over her
around.
merchandise table on their way out. And then
Well,
they have
she's
these-
misgendering them. How does she know that they're women? Or they identify?
How exactly? How does she know what they identify as? And
So normally,
like
do they start
said
where
to
the
the
marks
management,
are,
they said
though?
someone in their group was marginalized. So what?
Yeah.
Who knows what that means? Mayor's defense. During a subsequent interview with Fox News, Mayor defended her offensive comedy by declaring that true equality is being able to joke about everybody. She stated that no group should be safe from being made fun of and slammed
There's
the
a
transgender community for
lot
acting
of
like a
people here.
protected class du jour. Further, Mayor expressed her belief that comedy clubs should be a place where controversial opinions and uncomfortable truths can be said. In light of this, she commented,
Oh,
"You should be
there's
laughing
Citizen
at
Wilkes.
things at a comedy
They
club
get
that might
pulled
get you
around
in
the
trouble
corner
at
or
work. You
start
should be
around
making side
roughly
comments
there.
to your
Oh.
buddies at a comedy club that could get you in trouble at work. It's one of the last few places of freedom where you can be yourself and let loose. Like, let's not pretend that people are not doing these things, that people don't laugh at things that are inappropriate, that people don't make inappropriate comments. Like, let's not pretend. And even the woke leftists are doing this. They're making snide comments about straight white men.
Yeah.
The only joke a comedian should stop doing is one that doesn't get a laugh. Just because society pretends to be more woke and evolved doesn't mean people don't still laugh at the same things we did 20, 30, 40 years ago. Mayer went on to bash leftists for wanting certain groups exempted from ridicule. Exempt from ridicule? Beyond Mayer, comedians like Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais have been called out for making jokes deemed offensive. And they too complain that comedy is too politically correct because audiences are too sensitive. They claim they are being silenced when consumers point out and condemn certain jokes. I don't think I've ever said I'm being silenced, but I guess they can say whatever they want. However, this is not the case. By saying these offensive jokes to such a large and public audience, the comedians normalize bigotry. Chrissy Mayer argues that there's no such thing as punching down, but in comedy, the distinction between punching up or down is an important one. This is the paragraph where I really start to have an issue. Okay, comedians punch up when they make fun of groups or people
At least
that
he
hold more
stayed.
social
Like, the
power
stuff
than
was
them.
on him. He vanished, and
Oppositely,
everything
they
went to
punch
me. I was
down
like,
when joking
dude,
about marginalized people, those with
that's
little power. Okay, first of all,
ridiculous.
this is their
I had
word,
plenty
their
of
logic.
ability to get
Okay,
away, but I stayed
First of all,
because he
a true
stayed.
comedian, I don't think really. Some leftist comedians do believe in this punching up, punching down bullshit, but I mean, if we're being real, I would say that
I don't
the trans
punch up or down, I
community
punch
has
back.
more social power than
crap.
me, a straight white, soon to be married Christian person. I would say that the trans people are up here, and straight folks that are white are much down here. So if anything, I am punching up because in 2023, you can't be critical of trans people. You can't criticize them. That's the overall dialogue, is that you can't joke about them. You have to be like, shh, oh my god, it's a trans person. Oh my god, be careful.
Yeah.
If I were going to subscribe to this punching up, punching down bullshit, so trans people technically would be punching up, which in their
A
opinion
minor
is
killed a
what you
death
should do is
stalker?
punch up. You punch up at the
Dude,
people that are
that's
in power, which
that's
are the trans
embarrassing.
ideologues and the activists. But I don't believe in that bullshit. I believe everyone is equal. Everyone has equal potential to make something with their life. I think your attitude is so important, and you can make yourself miserable or you can make yourself happy. And I mean,
There's a box
so
in
this
there.
is like where I have a problem. I don't believe that making fun of a trans person is punching down. Like that, this person I feel like is showing their bigotry because it seems like they believe trans people are lower than she is.
Yes.
She seems like a straight. I mean, okay, it should surprise nobody that the author of this article is a land whale. Nick Harper. Hi, I'm Nick. She, they, which means you're probably just straight, and you're trying to. Well, the they part is what makes her very interesting and cool. I am a second year English lit major. So this is a
Oh,
sophomore
God.
in college. This is a
Oh, goodness.
19-year-old person telling me,
Hope my
someone
warlock
who's been
gets
doing
there
comedy for
someday.
13 years, what I
Oh
should
wow,
be
he stuck
doing
him on that thing. How
Wow.
nice.
in my job that I am professional and finally full time at doing. This is a 19-year-old cat owning, pronoun using land
Blacksmith
whale
Varigan.
at the University of
That's a
San
whole nother
Francisco.
list of people you probably got
She
to kill,
enjoys
isn't
writing
it?
about queer topics, social issues, and fashion. You know, it's so funny. I don't see comedy on the list of things that you're equipped to write about, Nick.
Yeah.
Yet here you are telling me how to do my job. Interesting. Let's go back. So this punching up, punching down thing is bullshit. This is what leftists do to justify treating certain groups as a protected class, and it's a bullying tactic, I think. I mean, if I were trans, I would want to be treated just like everybody else. If I were gonna go to a comedy club, I wouldn't want to be ignored. I wouldn't want that. If I'm sitting in the front, and I'm like the comedian's making fun of everybody, but then ignores me.
Somebody in here? Oh,
I don't know. What's that about? So punching up allows comedians to challenge the status quo
that guy's
and
running
hold
away
those
for
in
whatever
power
reason.
accountable. Who the fuck is gonna hold anybody in power account? Are you kidding me? Do you think Klaus Schwab is gonna go to Hyenas in Dallas and be sitting front row waiting for me to stick it to him? Do you think Bill Gates is gonna be in the crowd at Flap Flaps in Canada and be like, "Oh man, they really stuck it to me"? Do you think Jeff Bezos or fucking Joe Biden are any of
Not
these people
taking
going to
any
come? No,
risks.
it's like the elites are the elites. They're kind of untouchable to most of us normies. We're just trying to make our fellow man, our fellow plebe, laugh. It's this lofty leftist language, like we can actually, I don't know. Like, I'm not so arrogant that I think I can change. I can hold power accountable.
Oh, this is nope,
Like,
nope. This is getting bad.
Let's be real here. Punching down only reinforces stereotypes and furthers prejudice against marginalized groups.
Like,
First of all, like a
everything is,
comedy show is
like,
not going to make or break
Chain reaction
somebody's
respawning on top of
stereotypes.
me.
It's not
Screw
gonna,
that.
you're not going to walk into a comedy show 0% racist and then walk out 50% racist. That's not how that works.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
I need to get closer.
No, this is insane. And this person has clearly never been to a comedy club or been around real people. Is that's
Mhm.
another thing too? Is like they're on the internet. They don't understand. Like you can write all this stuff on the internet, but this is not how a conversation would go down in real life.
A 19-year-old is telling me, someone who looks 25 but is much older than 25, how to do my job that I get paid to do. I'm, you know, I have hot takes. I'm not in every major club, but it's like I'm doing okay. I'm paying my bills. And who knows if this fucking clown is even paying her own rent at this point. Like, you're not an adult yet. You're not in a position to tell other adults what to do. But leftism.
Virtual signing.
Okay, and then they have this tweet here from Omni Vag Allure.
Did I just say virtual signaling?
I work with preteens.
Oh, that's not cool.
We had an entire conversation about quote
That's not cool at
comedy
all.
yesterday. Anytime someone puts comedy in quotes, I just you know you can completely disregard what's about to follow. Being able to identify whether a joke is punching up or punching down is crucial in all caps and intent doesn't matter when you aren't from the minority group whose experiences you're talking about. First off, this is not a person who's fun. This is not a person who's going to go to a comedy club. This is not a person who is, oh yeah.
Okay,
But
we need to speed this up.
another part of it too, Chrissy, is like it's like when you aren't from the minority group. Well, when the Little Women LA ladies were upset with me for saying
These are
midget, I was
all
part of the
Hillsborough
minority group, and I'm
councilmen.
still not allowed to say it. So it's like, when does it stop?
Peasant.
So when somebody like Ty Rivera goes on stage and makes fun of the LGBTQ community, is he not allowed to say it even though he's part of the community? I just feel like everybody, stand up is supposed to be, we are supposed to be making fun of those things, and especially like it's even funnier when you are part of the community. You should be allowed to do it even more so. So to sit here and say that, oh, comedy, it's like they're trying to dictate what people can say, and I'm just
They're always
not about
moving
that
the
at all.
goal. That the example of Ty Rivera is perfect because he is a gay.
Like things
man who
are,
makes
there's just
fun
so
of
many
the
people
gay
here.
community.
I think I'm just gonna go back
And
to the spider thing
I
for
think
now.
the reason why, like, that joke,
It's
that
just
I
like
told about
everything's
Dylan that night,
respawning
it was
like
really more of a
crazy,
riff,
and I
but the reason
assume that's
why
where
it
those
resonated
guys
with the
spawn.
audience, because it wasn't just me
Also,
like
that
pounding
cleric
on
guy, I have no
Dylan.
idea if he
I
spawns
was
right there.
I was thinking like what it would be like if I was trans, if I really wanted to be a dude. What would I want? Well, I would want a big fat cock. That's what I would want, because
Yeah.
that's what masculinity is to me. That's would be like that's the trophy. I would be like, I'm gonna probably start lifting a lot of heavy weights because I got to make up for the fact that I'm 5'3", okay? So which means I need a big cock and I need big muscles. I'm just thinking what I would do. So really it's a joke about me, how I would be trans. So you're telling me how I can be trans? That doesn't sound very inclusive.
Exactly.
But like, first of all, what's the point of, you're talking to preteens about comedy? Why? What 12, 13-year-old? They're not in comedy clubs. They haven't lived enough life to have a
To even
broad,
care.
like, sense of humor comes when you're an adult.
Comedy
you've
in
got
general on
jobs,
cartoons
You've lived.
or other stuff
done
is good
things.
enough.
Like, there are occasionally kids who are funny. Like, Frank's kid is freaking hilarious and very smart and wise beyond his years because he's been around the two of us. And of course, Pauly Shore, grew up in a comedy club. But it shouldn't be something you should be speaking to a group of preteens about. That's like speaking to a group of preteens about car maintenance. It's just not relevant to their life, really.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But this is probably a conversation like, oh, you're not
Go
supposed to
kinda go
bully. You're
around
not
like
supposed
this.
to make comments.
Oh, the minor
about
is
your,
around here, really?
your classmates'
Inventory's
appearance.
full.
But that's not comedy. I
Really?
would consider that to be just like bullshitting with your friends.
Yeah, it's like they're at the point where they're policing comedy, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Policing
to me. And
everything.
like you said, these people have never even been to a comedy club, never been
No.
to a show.
You cannot compare what happens at a live comedy club, at a live show, to Twitter. And that's where these moron internet, like, journalists or whatever you want to call them, that's where they go wrong. Because they're not the same. Just because you don't like somebody's tweets. That's not, I wouldn't even consider that, quote, comedy. I don't know. When comedians make misogynistic or transphobic jokes, they normalize such behavior and thinking. I don't agree with this. I don't think I'm normalizing anything. I think this is, when you say normalizing is a very leftist word. It's very
No.
controlling. I don't think that I'm so powerful, important that I can control people or normalize anything.
Yeah.
Normalizing is trying to teach
Wow.
somebody that's
For
actually
example, jokes
impressionable
referring to trans women as men, such as in Mayor's
about
routine,
topics that they have no
invalidate
business
transgender identities
needing
through
to worry about
humor.
until
Okay, if you're
they get
so
older.
fragile that a joke can invalidate your identity,
Like trying to
then
force
guess
the
what?
whole
You are not compatible with
gay and
comedy. You shouldn't
transgender
be at a comedy show.
subjects
which is my whole
on younger
point.
people, just
If you're
confusing them
so
even further.
weak that you can't withstand someone's comedy set, then you shouldn't be at a club. Then you should stay home. You should be in therapy. You should work on
Well,
your insecurities.
And biology invalidates their identity, so I don't.
Yeah, reality invalidates your identity. And these people can't come to grips with reality. And that's what that's what a stand-up comedy club is. It's everyone coming together on what is reality and what's not. Because you know what? When it's not reality and it's not true, or it's not
Which
clicking,
has nothing
then
to
people
do
don't
with
laugh.
my name,
But if it's
my
clear
gamer
and it's
tag,
true
my
and
reality.
it's funny, then people are gonna laugh.
This next sentence pisses me off. Go ahead. Read.
On the other hand,
It has more to
transgender
do with
comedians
my
like
imagination.
Robin Tran. Have you heard of Robin Tran?
Nothing
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
delusional.
I haven't. Making jokes about their own experiences can make people laugh without tokenizing themselves.
That's
oh, could he be there?
Robin Tran. Who is Robin Tran? Let me see if I can pull them up. Let's see, Robin Tran on Instagram. So this is the model. This is who we should be like.
Yes. Pull it up. This is a trans
Because
person.
it shows going
is
right
a
here.
comedian
I
model.
have their Instagram. I'm gonna stop
Is
this
he
for a second
actually
and pull
in the
up
mine?
who our idol is. This is who we should all be like. Is Robin Tran here? Okay,
I saw
go
a
back.
flash of
Oh,
something
she has a
red running
Netflix
back.
special, which means she's in lockstep with the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Okay, let's see. Is this a link? Is this a video? Oh shit!
Critiquing the writing abilities of everyone's business side.
This is what you like.
Oh, this is writing quality. I'm like, yeah, you write for Val, don't you?
Ew! Hold on. This is a person who's balding but still has long hair. This is who we should be like. Okay. I didn't really hear a joke there, but maybe just a little bit of a riff.
I'm gonna kill this guy and go back. I'm only
Okay.
level 26.
Robin Tran looks like a very niche comedian. This is like you're a trans comedian, so this is how everyone should be. Okay, they were on the roast of Whitney Cummings. That's good. You know, maybe they are funny. I
Lewis
just
is
know
Puerto
nothing.
Rican. Whitney, when you said this roast would have terrible PR, I didn't know that this is what you meant.
Funny, and that joke had nothing to do with trans.
Yeah.
Really? That guy aggroed?
I would. I don't know. I find it very hard to believe that Robin Tran has no jokes, no self-deprecating.
Yeah, let's turn these in, see if there's any more mid-level quests then.
But anyway,
Because
that's
this
who we should be
is a
more
quest
like,
that's technically
Lila.
2 levels higher than I am. Technically, it straight up is.
Okay,
so.
making jokes about that.
That's a real woman.
That's a real woman. We all need to be. My voice isn't deep enough to be like that real woman. There's this last paragraph is great. There's no right way to do comedy. Then why are you writing this fucking article?
Are you freaking okay? Wow.
Why are we here? There's no right way to do comedy, but there can and should be a distinction between lighthearted jokes and offensive humor. Why does anyone need that distinction to be made for them? People
don't
can
go
tell,
to the show.
and that's also completely subjective.
Some comedy shows,
lighthearted
you
for someone
know, are
might be
lighthearted,
offensive
family
to
friendly.
somebody else.
Some of
So
them are just straight up
why does
dark
that
and
need to be someone's
disturbing.
job to
It just
make that
depends on
distinction?
what you want to go to.
That's like saying, oh, we need to decide what tastes people should have. We need to pick and choose what people can laugh at, what's okay to laugh at. Again, this is all
That's just
very
dumb.
controlling. Comedians, like, people are not retarded. They laugh at what they find funny. They don't need you to tell, like, they don't need a 19-year-old
Comedians
English
point
lit
out
major with cats
the
in San
horrible stuff that's
Francisco to
going
tell
on in
them
the
what's
world
okay to
or in
laugh
your
at.
country. Hell, you know,
Comedians
in your
should not rely
area.
on outdated
and poke fun
stereotypes
at
to get
it.
a laugh. Are you fucking kidding me? If we didn't rely on stereotypes, there'd be zero jokes. I would say there'd be 50% less jokes. Even at this
Stereotypes are
point,
there for a
There's
reason.
a stereotype of a
There's
straight
at
white
least
male.
a grain of truth
That's
in
a
all of it.
stereotype now.
Even the stuff that you
I
don't
would
like
consider that to be an outdated
against
stereotype.
you or your race
Yeah,
or your
I
religion
just
or whatever.
think that it's just so insane to me that there's no right way to do comedy except my way and how it should be, and offensive humor. And it's like I feel like offensive humor is actually funnier because you're actually trying to push the line and like see what happens. And here's another thing that's so different about stand-up now is like if I go to an open mic, right, and I'm trying out new material, someone could videotape me, post it on the internet, and then before the bit's even like fully worked out, you know, it's like we're not even
Right.
allowed to try things. And
you can't have that messy creative process because somebody could put out your first draft and then you get whatever. At this point, you and I are kind of uncancelable because we've leaned into it. But like somebody younger starting out, you get canceled for a first draft of a joke, and then you're like, oh shit. But then again, you wouldn't be doing comedy because that's now part of the deal. So if that's going to dissuade you from pursuing stand-up, then you're not cut out for it.
And I'm sorry, if you're a weak person, like you can't do stand-up. Stand-up comedy is not for the weak. It's not. And so you can try to like use all this like fluff and oh, you have to be like, you can try to push these woke comedians, but I'm sorry, it just like it doesn't work. And in real life, people can see.
I gotta go to
through
Thunder
that,
Bluff
and
anyway.
it's not what's gonna make people laugh
as well. So
it's
that's
just
2
not.
quests.
It's not the same.
Huh?
Yeah, it's not the same as real life.
Right, and these people don't seem to be out in real life because you're a 19-year-old cat owner in college. You haven't been out. I already know you haven't been out in the real world. This is so perfect because would the author of this article go up to a black comedian and call them out for using white people be like stereotypes, which is I would consider a very outdated stereotype. But guess what? I would never ever tell someone not to do jokes like that because lots of people love those jokes.
Yeah, and you see that happen all the time. Oh, there's white people in the audience, and that's okay to make fun of. It's just, it's very interesting how we're not allowed to make fun of certain things. But I am like,
peasants, huh?
when I was on that show, Little Women, and they like got mad at me for saying the M word midget, it actually made me want to do it more. It like didn't make me want to not
level
do
30
it.
elite.
I was
That's not happening.
And I'm glad I didn't apologize because I feel like it kind of like was a taste of what was to come.
Reading this article makes me want to go harder. That is the end result of this. Is like, man, I could be going so much harder.
And you should.
Comedians should not rely on outdated stereotypes to get a laugh. They should instead challenge and criticize those stereotypes. What would that look like? Does that sound funny to you? Challenging and criticizing a stereotype?
But that doesn't even make any sense because I feel like that is what you're doing, is you're challenging stereotypes and criticizing the transgender movement. You are challenging it and you are criticizing it. So you're actually doing what they want you to do. So it doesn't even make any sense.
Right, but I'm not pointing it at who they want me to point it at.
Yes.
And guess what, idiot? Stereotypes exist because they're true. Okay, if Asian people were great drivers, it wouldn't be a thing. If women were great drivers, it wouldn't be a thing. If men had no problem with asking for directions, that wouldn't be a thing. If black people didn't get into
I know where I'm going. What the hell is she talking
it wouldn't
about?
be a thing. Like, we're not pulling these things out of nowhere. If black people didn't disrupt the movies, it wouldn't be a thing. You'd say it and be like, what? Huh? That doesn't happen often enough for it to be a part of the collective conscious.
I think I'm going to go ahead and wear this.
List all the stereotypes. They should instead... comedy is about making people laugh, not furthering discrimination. What a fucking retard this person is.
Well, I feel like, okay, comedy is about people making people laugh, and that's the whole point, is you're not furthering the discrimination because you are talking about it, and you're pointing it out, and when you can laugh about it, it's like for me, like that's why I started stand-up, so I could talk about my disability, and I could point it out, and I could talk about it.
I need a bunch of human skulls now. Okay.
It wasn't like people were thinking about that anymore. They could see me, and they could respect me, so it's like, it's insane for this person who's never gone on stage.
I'd love to have that,
never
but
tried
again,
to do stand-up. It's
level
like, okay,
30
why don't
elite,
you do your type of stand-up that you think is so much better than this offensive comedy? Why don't you go on stage and do your light-hearted jokes and see how the fuck that works?
Let's see you do an hour of cat jokes and see how well that does.
Farewell.
And it's particularly important for you, Lila, because I'm sure you experience
the human skulls can come from both sides.
You don't bring up
Interesting.
your disability at all.
Oh, you use it on Stanley. Okay,
like
so that's what that is.
You know,
right
if it's a crowd of people who already know you, like our shows we were doing together, maybe you feel less like it has to be the first. But I'm sure if it's a brand new, like that big show you did during the pandemic at that big theater.
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt like you had to right away.
I have to, Chrissy, because you have to understand, when I come on stage and it's a group of people who've never seen me before, I am not what the average person looks like. And if I don't address it, the people aren't even thinking about my jokes. They're like, what the fuck is going on here? Why does she look like that? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Why
even
is she
at
squished?
my show with Alex Stein, I feel like I should have went a little bit harder on my disability and like address that a little bit more, because I thought I could just like go into some stuff. And then when I didn't get into my disability stuff till like 7 minutes in, and then they're like, oh, okay, we understand what's going on here. I thought I went up there and I started talking about squirrels. I'm like, we don't want to know about fucking squirrels. We want to know why you walk like that. You know,
Right.
like I have.
And that's the thing too. Like I feel like I don't go into my regular jokes when I'm in a new city or it's a new show or you're excited, because you feel like I have to make comments about what's going on in the room or the people that are there.
So
Like you
30
want to make
kills,
these fresh
probably gonna be a good
observations that are not
chunk.
in your normal set.
Feed the
because you just
thing
wanna, like,
between all those quests. Will that get me to
like
27?
say them first and then you get into your material. So you might
I
have been in
hope
that headspace of like, oh, I have these new observations I just want to get out.
But it's like even now I'm starting to realize like
Maybe I can luck
you know,
out
I've
Citizen
lived with my
Wilkes and the
disability for
others.
so long, my whole life, that like I don't even think about it. But I have to, like, my husband will explain to me, he's like, no, like when people see you for the first time, they can't even pay attention to what you're saying, because they're like thinking about, why does she look like this? Why is she so small? What's going on here? And he's like, you're actually doing yourself a disservice by not going into it and going into it even more, you know? Like I feel like, remember me and you were talking, and it's like you didn't even know that I've had so many surgeries. You know, it's like, oh, maybe that's something I should explore a little bit more and kind of let people understand about.
And there's something really funny that can be linked in with like the trans conversation, because they have a lot of surgeries, and like you can definitely, like, that's when someone learns you've had so many surgeries, it makes it go, oh shit, she's been through a lot, because you're so tough and you don't have a victim mentality. But when you bring that up, like, oh yeah, big deal, I've had 17 surgeries or something, it's this great play on a very
Oh,
making
can I
light of a
maximize this?
serious
Can I
thing.
come up here,
Cameron, look at us.
try to
We're
kill
making
stuff
lighthearted jokes.
Lighthearted jokes.
without getting my
And like
dumbass
Eric is
killed?
right, because if someone doesn't know you at all, like I think our fans, like they know you, they know your face, but they see you in person for the first time, they don't realize that you're like shorter.
When we were at the FNT meetup too, I had a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh my god, I didn't even realize how tiny you were, you know? And so it's like, because you're in the little box, you would think I'm 5'7".
Yeah. You seem very tall online.
Thanks. And I even had, after shows, people come up to me after the show and they're like, oh my god, you look bigger on stage. And I'm like, well, I'm glad.
You are
but it's, you know,
up higher, right?
So I just think it's I wouldn't want to be limited on what jokes I could and couldn't do. But I will say this, I have like if there's somebody in a wheelchair, like in the audience, you know, sometimes I'll think like, oh, how can I maybe like incorporate them to like make them really feel included, or like not, because you know I have a bit where I talk about like, you know, thank God I can walk, but then sometimes if there's somebody in a wheelchair, I'm like, I'll even guess myself, like, do I want to say that? Because I do care about what people, you know, I want to make the audience feel good. So like I had one of my girlfriends came to my show once and she was in a wheelchair, and I pointed her out and I was like, she's the most VIP person in here. She came with her own seat.
I know what you mean, because it's not like, I'm sure there's people who have never met me, they think I'm like this cold-hearted transphobic bitch, and like I even
You just see everything and take it all
I
out
do watch
of
what I
context.
say, like and I don't mean that like I censor myself. I look at the audience and you try to tailor it for who's there. Like if I see a freaking, and I hate when this happens, like there's like a 16-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid, you're like, wow, okay,
why are you here?
we're turning you into a man today. Like I don't know. Like I go, am I gonna tell my waxing bit? Am I gonna not say certain words? Like, but then again, if your parents have brought you to a comedy show, then you're probably, you know, I do
Holy
quickly like reassess what I'm about to say, because I'm like, I don't want to traumatize this kid or like send the parents home when they have to have a tough conversation or something. Like, but then I'm like, what is the most scandalous thing I talk about in my set? I don't know. I curse a little bit. I make, you know, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I'm at the point where I wouldn't change anything at all. It's because it's been a while since I've had like a teenager in the crowd, but you don't like to see it. But there's, and same thing.
They're
Like
there,
if I
huh?
if I do jokes about like interracial dating, I'll like find a couple and I'll really try to, you know, like make it specific to who is in that crowd. Not to piss anybody off, but to make them kind of feel special.
Yeah, and I think that's like the more we do stand up and as we get deeper into our careers, it's like you get more experience, and that's like I saw Andrew Dice Clay perform last week at the Comedy House of Plano, and I was sitting right up in front, and there was a couple next to us, and the first 15 minutes of his set was just all about this couple, and just like kept going on and on about this.
Oh, that's great.
It was really cool to watch, but it's also like he's had so many years of experience that he can really like riff with the crowd, and I've been very like attracted to that lately. Just kind of like watching how a comedian, like I said, you're so good at that, like goes in and out of their sets and connects. And I feel like I'm just getting to that point in my career where it's like I'm evolving and kind of like learning how to do that. But if we are constantly being told what we can't say, what we can't do, what we can't try, it's like you're not going to know until you're up there on the stage. So it's really funny to me that these people who criticize comedy would never have the balls to go on stage with a microphone in front of an audience. And it's not the same as YouTube. It's not the same as writing an article. It's not the same as sharing a funny tweet. It's so different unless you've done it. Like, I can't totally respect what you have to say about it unless you've actually been on stage and done it yourself.
Exactly. And if you're going to compare it to music, I would say like the crowd interactions or a riff, or like the Dylan thing was a riff for me. Like you could compare that to like a solo or
I like
like
how
an improvisation. Like there's your song.
some of these guys don't have skulls at all. Are you serious?
You're gonna play, they're on your album or whatever, and then there's like,
so I should probably actually be going and killing the peasants.
Or you like, kind of take a left turn.
That's going to be the case.
Like something kind of random that the crowd doesn't expect, and that's kind of similar.
That doesn't unexpect
in comedy. I just fucking musicians don't have to deal with this shit. It's like.
Yeah, they just listen to the music.
I feel like with stand-up, it's the most difficult form of public speaking because it's one thing to go to like an event, right? And there's a speaker that's going to give a talk, and they just happen to be funny. Oh, they get bonus
so
points.
lucky.
Oh yeah.
Stand-up, it's these people have paid money to see you be funny, and it's every 30 seconds to a minute, big laugh, and it's like just because you're funny in the beginning, it all has to tie in together, and it's like it is this. It's such a fulfilling art form too because you never know what's gonna happen, and when you get
that
laugh,
one, it'll explode, so I don't have to worry about.
It's like surfing. It's like the setup is like you're paddling, and then you can like ride the wave a little bit when there's a laugh, but it's like you gotta do it again, and like for however long your set is. Oh my god, I'm so behind on these supers. Okay. Pilgrim Media, Chrissy, does the pearl clutching get old from the SJWs? I mean, not really, because they really just exist on Twitter.
All the peasants were down at this other one, right?
At that Dallas show, but they really are not often in my audiences. So that was kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, there's the
200
peasants.
Watt Studio. These people have never heard of Don Rickles. No, of course not. Oh my god. A lot of people have been bringing his name up the last few weeks.
Well, that person's going for that one, okay.
They get it. Cecil, what's up, Cecil? A pregnant white woman in New York tried to challenge stereotypes by stealing a bike from 5 black teenagers. Everyone got mad at her. You just can't win. Nope. Oh, but then when what's-his-face, the Dilbert guy, says, oh, you just got to avoid them. Oh, you can't say that either.
Wow.
Who's the Dilbert guy? I forget his name. Shannon Smith, best crowd work is Al Murray, Countries of the World. I suggest everybody look it up later. Al Murray. All right. I'll write it on the back of this envelope where my taxes came back in. Okay. Probably good. Forget about it and then throw that away later. Okay. Sorry. Oh, God. I don't think it's allergies. Matthew Hammond, I am sad I missed Ollie London. I wanted to know if he became a better driver when he detransitioned. Haha. He was like this close to chopping off his dick. It was a very interesting conversation.
Really?
He was going to get his cock removed in Bangkok.
I thought he was trying to be like that male.
The irony was not lost on me.
Korean K-pop
I didn't
star.
want to, like, make a joke about it because I was like,
really?
I didn't want to.
So he was going to go female?
He was new. It was the first time I talked to him. I didn't know if like I could joke about his dick removal process. Yeah. Johnny Mumbles, can you imagine how miserable that convo was? Make sure you don't laugh at this, and you can laugh at their idea of comedy. 4 or 5 minutes of Trump jokes. Yeah, exactly. These people are not out in the world going to clubs. They have no clue of what the majority of this country finds funny. Johnny Mumbles, comedy has no rules. How about if it makes you laugh, you laugh. You don't sit in the penalty box for laughing at the wrong thing. Exactly. We want you to laugh at whatever you like. We never expect everybody in the audience to laugh at the same things. K-Max, what's up, K-Max? I love leftist language on Twitter, Chrissy. Normalizing behavior by making jokes. So how can you joke about anything? Making jokes to them is normalizing bad behavior. Yeah, if I was trying to normalize something, I would, I don't know, run for office, try to write policy. I guess I would be in politics, or I would, I don't know, be a teacher who tries to come out to my kids. And I would be a school librarian, and I would be buying a bunch of trans and queer books for my students. That would be if I wanted to normalize something. Matthew Hammond, I hope someone at Compound got your wedding present. It was left at the door. You might like it. Frank will love it if you follow the directions. Oh, well, my show was not Labor Day, right? No, it was Memorial Day, so I wasn't there this Monday, but I'll be back there next Monday. Thank you, Matthew Hammond. Spectral Citizen, love watching you two ladies together. Thank you, Spectral.
Kill these farmers anyway.
West Britannicus, Lila cackling in the background
kill a
is
bunch
easily
of
the
stuff,
best
it
part
seems.
of Chrissy Tranny Gate. Aw.
Regardless.
That's the biggest compliment, is when I make other comedians laugh. It's the best. There's a comedian laughing is worth like 15 regular people laughing to me.
Oh, 15, huh?
That's so true. That's
all
real.
of you guys have heard my shit, and I will laugh at jokes that I've heard a bunch of times, but they're still funny.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the best.
great. And it's also like sometimes I laugh too when it's because you hear other people laughing and you know it's like their first time hearing it, and it's like reminds you. It's really fun.
That spell isn't ready
Yeah.
yet.
You know, it makes me want to do more. Like, the more shows I do with you, Lila, the more shows I want to do with you. Like, it's that same thing. It's always like the fourth show out of the 4, or the last show of the weekend. Like, we're the most warmed up. We're the most like.
Oh God, yeah, that last show that got heckled at. Because here's what's crazy: they all stayed up until that point. They watched my set, they watched Alex's set, they watched Keanu's set, and they got upset like right at the very end. But honestly, it was gold. It was perfect. But I felt so good about my set. I felt like so warmed up, and I love working with you and Keanu. We just had like the best time. It was fun being like the lady comic.
And it's fun. We had pool time. It was a good balance between like.
What on earth is this
'cause
person
it's very
doing?
hard for me to have fun and relax when I'm like on the road, because I go, this is a work trip. I need to be focused. I can't fuck up this show. But we had some really good like pool time and hanging time, and it did almost feel like a little bit like a vacation.
Yeah, it was fun.
But also a work trip. Yeah. It's just so crazy.
I don't know any peasants up here.
I feel like
I'm
I like get better every time I work with you too, because I feel like I learn a lot, and like I can watch you, and like I said, you're so good at the crowd work. Like, you would be so proud of me, Chrissy. Like, I've been hosting shows.
I wish I could have seen that Austin show.
People, and then also like when I bring people up, like I'll like make a little conversation with the crowd, and then I'll like try to make a joke, and then I'll bring the comic up. So
People love that. It's like that's why you're at a live event instead of home diddling yourself. It's like it makes them feel special. It doesn't have to be the most slam dunk hilarious joke. I think if you're just like commenting on somebody, or just, it's nice. People like to feel noticed.
Yeah, I think I brought up this comedian or the comedian off stage. He had
just
he was
like
wearing
everybody's
a jeans
here right
jacket
now.
with like no sleeves. Like, he'd ripped the sleeves off,
Ooh.
and I was like, oh, he has a lot of confidence. He ripped the sleeves off his jacket, and the crowd freaking loved it.
Yeah,
So
it's fun to just talk about what people are wearing and make just. That's what it is. It's like you're literally looking at somebody in the crowd and making a stereotype. Like, in that one show, there was an Indian guy, and I was like, I don't want to stereotype, but do you work in IT? And he was like, yes, and it was the best. It was funny for everyone. It's funny for him because it's like, haha, I guess you got me. And it's funny for the crowd because like, oh, look at this fucking Indian guy.
Well, I think also too, it really shows people that like you're present and you're in the moment and you're making observations in the moment, and that's like it really takes people to be present. And I think that's why it works out so well. It's like you're going to comedy to kind of like not think about the stress of your work week, not think about the stress of tomorrow. It's like to be in the now and to like really like laugh and release, and it's
Oh,
healing.
it's nice not
What's
using
been
Moonfire, I
inspiring me
guess.
recently is there's this song about like boycotting Target that Forgiato Blow just put out. It's like top of the charts right now, and like they're so good. Like these couple of MAGA rappers, they're so good at putting out like a topical song, and it'll trend. Like it'll do well. But I'm so inspired with the speed at which they're able to put out a song that's topical. And I'm like, I want to do that, but with my jokes. Like, I mean, I'm not performing at a club every weekend, but like I want to get to a point where like, and maybe like these appearances on podcasts or like Newsmax or whatever, like I want to get to a point where like I can do that with comedy and just like, wow, this is like
to take that
this
one.
is some I feel like I should have like 10 Target jokes by now, but yeah, it's inspiring. It's cool when like other different art forms can inspire your comedy, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Pilgrim Media. Well, Cecil do stand up at kids' birthday parties. We've been trying to get
Harry's
Cecil
am I
to do
gonna get?
stand up, I feel like, for months now.
Yeah, Cecil.
Cecil just needs to be pulled onto stage because he would be funny.
Yeah, well, you have to just pull an Alex Stein and Owen Schroyer him upstage. It's funny.
Yeah, that's what we need to do because Cecil has it in him. Cecil is like similar to. He's great on podcasts. He's very seasoned. He's very quick. He makes funny observations. So the only thing that's he doesn't care about making a fool of himself. I mean, that's his life. So all he needs is just to get on stage and like let it rip.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that. Yeah. But Lila, you're gonna come to Houston, right?
Yes, I'm gonna be there.
Okay,
I'll be
good.
there for the podcast. I mean, the panel, and for the show. And then on the 12th, I'm gonna be in Austin for an event with Matt Baker.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah, it's I have it up here. It's called the American Liberty Awards. It's like an award show. You should come, Chrissy.
That is August 12th.
Yeah, August 12th in Austin. Here it is.
That's Saturday.
Yeah.
Doing full screen.
There.
Wow, look at that. You're on the VIP list there. Forgiato Blow will be there. Wow, Sam Tripoli. I love Sam Tripoli. I love all these people. Maybe we'll have to get a car and just drive out there. How far is it from Houston?
I think it's like 2 hours.
That's nothing.
Yeah, so we should just go.
We should just go.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
I wonder if they
Come
would.
with.
I don't know if they would have me, but I would definitely go to support.
Yeah, come. And everyone's gonna be there, so it's gonna be like a fun.
Everyone's gonna be there. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
thing.
so just come. Come with me.
We could go to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we'll go to Buc-ee's. We'll make a road trip. Yeah, that's because we just have the show on the 11th, and we'll just go early in the morning the next day.
Right, unless God, I wonder if any of the convention stuff will be happening. No, because it's at nighttime, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to make that happen.
Yes, you have to. Come.
Wow, one more from K-Max. Chrissy, have you had any sponsors before? What would be a quality product Chrissy or Lila would be proud to endorse? You know, if there are any patriotic vibrators, I would happily welcome that. I'm just looking into this Public Square website, which I guess hosts a lot of, like based vendors. Let's go see if there's anything on there that I would buy. Yeah, I had a bunch of podcast sponsors last year. I think I just haven't like pursued any this year. Like just not trying to have sponsors. Not because they wouldn't have me, but I just wasn't following up.
You should have some carnivore crisps.
I love the. I actually have a like a monthly delivery set up with them.
Ooh.
They're so good, and I have the carnivore dog treats that I give to.
Are those the
Muffin and
ones that are
Waffles.
protein
That's so
chips,
I
sweet.
call them cookies.
Like,
I say,
but not
"Do
actual
you
like
want a
corn
cookie?"
chips?
And now they know what that means. They're like,
Mm.
I love them. I want to try one because they say it's human grade meat.
Oh wow, you should try one maybe.
I will. I ate a milk bone when I was a kid. We had dogs that lived next door, and we would keep milk
Really?
bones for them. And I ate one day.
Was it good?
I haven't been
I
brave
don't
enough to
remember
try
how it
one of those,
tasted.
huh?
I remember one time when I was like 10, I was drinking a smoothie and we like took a bunch of ants that were crawling on the ground and put them in the smoothie. And then like, they were alive.
Oh,
And we like slurped them up.
You?
Oh.
I must have eaten like 15 ants.
Wow, you're like the OG Klaus Schwab. You were eating bugs before it was cool.
It's really a strange thing.
Hey Max, wasn't there a drink you always had on stream? Me?
Big water bottle.
I have a water bottle like that. Oh God. But it's similar. It's pink and
I have a bunch of mint leaves in here for my garden.
Oh
And the
wow.
lemon. See, that's all the stuff that's like floating in it. Look at all the leaves.
I would love a spiked seltzer
Mm,
sponsor. That would be cool. Maybe Hard AF could sponsor the pod.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I would love to, and hopefully you can go with me if I can get this going, but I would love to go to Arizona. I would
Yes.
love to do something in Tennessee. Montana would be cool. Montana's like super based. Like I
And we
just
could
don't
ride a horse.
all right, that's
Go
it.
to a
Goals.
ranch.
These are my goals. All right, everybody. This was fun. This is just me and Lila catching up, and we just happened to have a chat going.
Yeah.
Lila, what's coming up? Oh, when is your new documentary coming out?
July 4th, 2023, which is exactly a year after American History of Voter Fraud.
Whoa.
Look at my hats.
That's a big deal that you could bang out one documentary a year.
Yo, we had the documentaries that came out were American History of Voter Fraud, World Death Organization. Then we had 2 hours of Dick Gregory and a documentary short, which was about Joan Rivers up the rivers. But this will be our the
2 hours of dick, you say?
2 hours of Dick, yes.
I can handle it.
But the film is The Trial of Anthony Fauci, which will come out July 4th. I'm really excited about it. Eric's been working very, very hard. I'm about to record my lines. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I will be recording my lines.
That's very exciting. I was told
Interesting.
that
I
we
did
are
watch
doing a
her
raid
American History
that
of
we
Voter
would be
Fraud one.
raiding Anna, that
Wasn't too
Star
bad.
Wars girl stream. Let me see if I can put the link in the chat here. Yes, I can. This is where we'll be going. We'll be going to Anna's stream.
Yay!
There it is. I hope that worked. Aw, don't go, says TGTK.
Oh, is the
Aw.
show almost over, I guess?
Oh, we're still going. Well, you're the absolute best. It was fun. It was very satisfying to break down that article with you. I clearly have a lot of passionate feelings about this 19-year-old twat.
Hey, but you know what? This is all of this is great. Like the fact that they're even talking about it, looking at it. There'll be some people with an open mind who maybe will come up and look you up, and like if anybody's smart that does, they'll love your stand up. They'll love what you do. So whatever, that's fine.
And also, like, I would love for these people to like
3 more
come to a
peasants, but a
show
bunch
and
more
like
skulls.
Yes.
see if something that I say makes you laugh, and if not, I don't know, or like have a conversation. I think that's more productive than just being like, meh.
I don't like you.
I don't like my dad, but I'm taking it out on you. Anyway, let's go to Anna's stream. Let's snipe it up. Is it called sniping? No, it's just a stream ambush. I don't know. I don't know what the kids are calling it.
Raiding?
Okay. See you next time.
Alrighty. Well, that was enjoyable to listen to. Yeah, I was able to see, both of them do their stand-up live in Dallas. That was pretty fun. And like even Lila's set was fun. She's talking about how she's pretty new to it all. Like my only thing that I noticed, it didn't really pull you out too much of it, but her only tendency that I saw was like after the joke or the punchline was done, she would kind of explain herself or explain her joke after that, and I felt that that wasn't really necessary. I mean, by you not having to explain it makes the joke funnier. And all that stuff, and I'm sure most, intelligent people get what she's trying to get at. So, like I said, maybe that'll be something that she'll clean up down the line. Oh, you're not going anywhere.
My mana is low.
What do you mean your mana is low? What about the mana you back up? Okay, is there anything else I want to listen to? So we're moving on. Try to not get myself in trouble.
I need to get closer.
I probably should have stayed drinking. Wait, Nina's talking to Sam J. Jones? The original Flash Gordon? What the?
When you realize it's never too late to...
That's kind of cool.
I've been an actor for only 45 years,
That's a
and I've been a security professional for 20 years. So I don't wait around. I got retrained up, what we call federal protective doctrine, and I protect people in hopefully good people. I protect good people from
So you're like the bodyguard?
yeah. I mean, I guess that's one way of saying it. But primarily, I've done a lot of working in high risk environments, but now I sort of transitioned more to the U.S. I worked Mexico for 17 years, all through Mexico.
Woo, Mexico.
Primarily the protecting people in Mexico. Anyway, I love it, and it's no big deal for me. It keeps me from waiting by the telephone when the movie business is slow.
So, like,
I run
the last
security
thing
operations.
I just remember seeing what
Security
really was Ted.
operations are slow. I make movies and I do comic books and I do these personal appearances. But it's natural for me. It's just it's a lot of fun, and I love. Again, I can't if more than 2 days go by and I'm not working, I get a little bit
This is
antsy.
Flash Gordon
Usually
talking
when
right now,
Thursday
by the
rolls
way.
around, if I'm not doing a security or movie,
Hey, so
my
I just
wife
need
will
to get
say,
skulls now.
"Aren't you leaving
So just
tomorrow?"
anybody and everybody.
Wait, so I gotta ask, have you shown up for work to be security, and somebody's like, Flash Gordon just showed up to be
Yeah.
security?
Well, no, it's a great question, and it's sort of a taboo thing in a way. I'll give an example. Most of the people I protect,
come on.
they're not in the movie industry. That's number one. They're either millionaires or billionaires, or they're corporate executives who don't really, they're probably
I've never
watching.
watched a movie.
They're watching movies, but they're not really, they're in their own world with their heads are down. However, after 4 months protecting a CFO of a huge Japanese corporation, when he found out He said, "Thank God that I knew." He said, "Thank God that you proved yourself as a security professional, protecting me for all these months." And then I find out that that. So yeah, and I just basically it is what it is, and
I
I
feel
don't.
like that's a
I
movie.
do
Like, you
my
should
job.
make that movie where
Well,
somebody
yeah,
hires
I mean,
a security.
well,
That's a
we
nice
actually
story
did.
shows up.
Yeah,
Your
we
life
actually
is
did.
a movie.
Yeah, we did my documentary called Life After Flash, and we incorporated. We put a team down in Mexico, camera crew, and there we were. I mean, we were obviously not showing the jefe or the boss that we were protecting, but yeah, I mean,
Really?
we incorporate that into
Some
the.
shady
Well, what's cool
business.
about this, Rob incorporated this into the comic book. That it's not.
Oh, cool.
I get a phone call from the president, or I get a phone call from whomever, and hey, Sam, we really need your help to save America and to save the galaxy. It's not as though I just you're an actor. Yeah, you know what? Let's use the actor. No, this is what I do, and in reality, I've been doing it for 51 years, ever since I've been a Marine.
Thank you for your service, by the way. I mean, that's really amazing.
Forgot he was a Marine.
There's so much like I want to ask you, and I'm just a little still a little starstruck. But I'm gonna ask Anna's question because I know Anna's not gonna
Actor,
ask
Marine,
this. So
bodyguard.
I'm
No,
gonna
don't
ask.
do it.
All kinds of stuff,
I'll
huh?
ask a different question. Okay, so in the comic, first, how many pages is it, and then is it going to have a sequel?
Oh,
Go ahead, Sam.
no, Rob, tell him. It's a 54-page graphic novel. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, it's a 54 pager, and if there's something wrong with me, I can't do 22 pages. It just goes on. but yeah, it's 54 pages, and we're gonna see what the reception is for this. And hey, there's plenty more adventures up here. Okay, right here.
So then, is this story like a complete story, or is
Yes,
it?
it's a one-off. Yes. However, at the end, when you see it, that leaves room for a lot of questions and a lot of things. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
It's a one-off story, so you guys definitely want to back this now, just in case. You never know. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind book, so you want to get yours now. You better.
It's
better
wonderful.
Get it.
People are
Sam
coming
J.
on
Jones
board,
saves
ladies.
the
Look at that.
galaxy.
I know, it's incredible.
So
Just
who
wait
needs
until
Flash to do
Anna.
it
You're
when
gonna have to go on
Sam's story
Anna's
is more
channel
interesting,
too,
it sounds
and,
like, huh?
And get on there with Anna
He's
because
living the
Anna
Flash
has
Gordon life.
a massive comic book fan following. So
Yeah. Wow.
it's gonna right. It's gonna happen, Anna. Right?
Yeah. You guys are welcome on anytime. I'll pimp out your book as much as I can.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you.
Anna's really good at pimping things out.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Tell them about the tiers.
I learned the ways of the internet over the
Well,
past few years.
we're gonna do your show whether you like it or not.
Yeah, there you go. I'd love to have you guys on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Tell us a
ahead.
little bit about the tiers.
Yes, the tiers. Yes.
So the tiers, we have the basic tier, which is $40. That's a pretty good price for that 54-page graphic novel. You'll get all the extras with that. You'll get the 3 exclusive.
Oh no, we need to yell at them.
Membership
yeah,
card, which is
because
down there. You'll see that, and
people
also
are going
bookmark.
crazy with the Rippaverse, and theirs being $35 for a 96-page comment. They're charging 40 for.
This
Oh no, we have to yell at them.
Burn the rest. That's the only card that's gonna really blow. It's gonna be in your back pocket in case you need it. You're supposed to keep it with you.
Oh crap!
You gotta have that membership card.
It's got the oath on it. You have to sign that, but put your name on it. And then the next tier is the sketch card and book. So my dad will draw you up a nice sketch card. It'll be unique, and you give him some more money for that, and he'll give you some original art.
Yeah, click
and
the
then we have
button of it, so all the
here?
perks. There you go. See? There's all the perks.
Yeah, you also get all the perks as well with that. Then the next one is the autograph book tier, which I feel like that one's gonna go pretty fast, and it's taken us a lot of the work to get those books, I'm gonna be physically taking them to him to sign, and then we're gonna be sending them back across the country, and then we're gonna be sending it straight into your hand. So yeah, get your signed copy of that in case you can't make it out to one of these cons that we'll talk about later. But yeah, you get everything with that. The original art page, that's also a very good price. I told
they
them to
just
price
started their
it
thing
higher than
37
that,
minutes ago,
but,
so it's not been
you'll get
long.
a page of original art from the book, and that'll be sent nice and safely to you.
Let's let that person pass.
In a really rigid
Oh, so you were
manner.
drawing all of these by hand, nothing's digital, right?
Yeah, now
No,
look
it's
at
all
this.
by hand. He's an old school
Oh,
artist.
oh,
so
yeah.
he still does it the old
Artist
school
incredible.
way.
And there's lots
very
of
good.
original art to go, and you're going to see that later. That's going to be going to ship that.
Now, can I tell them about this tier? This is my
please.
favorite tier.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Other than getting everything, that's included, if you read that and you look close, you're going to have a one-on-one private breakfast, lunch, or dinner with Sam J. Jones. That's right, one-on-one. And so you
Really?
say, well,
For
wait a minute,
$1,200, huh?
how in the world are we going to connect with Sam J. Jones? Well, we have my comic book tour schedule. It's up there. It's on the site right there, and it's fluid, meaning we're adding to it daily. So we can do this one or two
Maybe
ways.
I need to turn him that way or something, huh?
If you want to do the tier 1, you contact Joe. And here's the schedule. In other words, I'm leaving early in the morning to go to Minnesota. That's the Minnesota Con. So I'll be in Minneapolis. Well, it's this weekend. I have to get there in the morning though. So it's June 2nd to the 4th. And if you're there, if you're attending, you come early. You contact Joe, and we're able to. And also, I'm going to throw in 2 little other surprises.
Need 10 more skulls.
I talked about this last time we did this, but 2 other little surprises I'm going to add to this. Now, when I'm doing these events,
Really milking the
obviously,
Sam J. Jones
I'm with other
angle, eh?
celebrities, and a couple of these I'm going to be with Lou Ferrigno. So not only will you be having this private meal at a public restaurant. No, I'm not going to your haunted house. Okay?
I was about to say this might get a little dangerous even for you.
But we are open for tier 2, of course.
He's a
that's
security
high-end deal as well.
or professional bodyguard,
Have you watched
security
Misery? You might
company guy. He knows what he's doing, right?
She wants to do that to Henry Cavill. So.
No, I'm teasing.
Why Henry Cavill? Oh, I know why.
Have you seen him?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So how this is going to work? So yeah, I'm doing this tour. I'm usually at a Comic-Con. There's other celebrities with me. So not only will you're going to be having this meal with me at a public restaurant, and it's not going to be like, hey Sam, thanks a lot for the beer or the glass of wine. I know it's only been 7 minutes. Hey, take care. No, we're not. No, we're talking about minimum, Joe? 2 hours. Minimum 2 hours.
Oh,
And also,
cool.
especially while I'm on the road at one of these events, I'm going to have other celebrities with me. Hello. Okay.
Ooh, very
How old
nice.
is
Now,
Lou Ferrigno?
Sam, are you
Is he in
going to
his
be,
70s
to
now?
quote your other movie, the one that you did, Ted? Are you going to be? Are you going to be partying like it's the 80s?
Absolutely.
Yep.
80s.
You're gonna get a little white baggie with your purchase as well. It's gonna come in the mail. You gotta save it for whenever you're with Sam.
That's just a movie.
That's
By
just
the way, for people that saw Ted and Ted 2, we came out of the bathroom and we had all that white powder over our noses and our mouths. You know what that was, don't you? The little teddy bear got carried away in the bathroom. He knocked over the container of baby powder. So that's what that was.
That's. I mean, that's what I thought it was. I don't know what everybody else thought it was.
Yeah.
But...
They keep baby powder in men's restrooms now.
And this is a great tier because, again, not only will it be me, and we're going to have some. It's a meet and greet, but it's a long.
Really trying to
dinner,
upsell
lunch,
that thing. It's awesome.
Whatever you're available for, and most likely I will have another celebrity. You like how I say that? Celebrity with me. Hopefully it'll be Lou Ferrigno. And yeah, so
that's awesome. Now I heard that maybe there's more Ted movies happening. Is that true?
I hope so. When I signed for Ted 2. I also, which we already found. I also signed for Ted 3. So the contract, all the contractual, all the legalities it's signed. All we need to do is if Seth MacFarlane wants to do it. Obviously, loved and Mark Wahlberg. I mean, surely I don't think it's a movie without Mark Wahlberg. He's one of the most. He's one of the most humble men that you ever meet in your life. He really is.
I met Mark once at a rave at his last Marky Mark appearance in Vancouver.
His last
it
Marky
was,
Mark appearance.
What
yeah.
year are we talking about?
It was, I think, of 2000. Oh God, I want to say like 2004.
Do youngins even know
2005.
what that is?
It was like Summer Love.
It's before his
Or do you
big
just think
movie
he's
career
that
took off.
actor from
Yeah,
the
and
Transformers?
He's a super humble guy. Yeah, I don't know how I was back then, but when I spent some good time with him and doing 2 movies, and again, just a really humble guy, and he's
seems
not
like a really nice guy. Yeah.
super, yeah.
Seth, though, have you seen his new his new show, the
Orville?
sci-fi show?
No, ladies, I haven't had. This is crazy. My 45 years of making films and TV, I've only seen half my work. So I don't even. And not only do I not have time to see my work, I don't have time to see my friends and everybody else's work.
That makes sense. You're a busy guy.
Kids, I got 5 kids and a whole lot of grandkids.
Oh, you can't carve out 2 hours to see your own movie.
It's. I remember the early years when I was getting ready to put on. I had my first one of my early TV series, and I think The Highwayman. Yeah, my second or third series, and I said, "Okay, kids, come on, let's all gather around. We're gonna watch me tonight. You're gonna watch their daddy on TV." Well, so my daughter says, "Wait a minute, Daddy, aren't you taking me to dance?" And my son said, "Daddy, aren't you taking me to baseball?" I went, "Yeah, you're right. Well, there goes my."
Oh my God.
So that's and it just exponentially increased that way, and I had more kids and.
And less time.
And you have 0 time.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense. But he has a really good show recently. It's called The Orville. And I think that he did what the new Star Trek couldn't do, Sam. So if you're interested, I highly recommend The Orville. I think it's a really good show. Anna, do you agree? You've seen it, right?
Yeah, no, I like The Orville a lot. Actually, one of the shows that I really liked growing up was Stargate SG-1. And so the episode that you were in was so good, and then they never did anything with it. It made me so frustrated.
Yeah, I love that. That was it was called Dead Man's Switch, and I played the bounty hunter. His name was Eris.
Oh,
Bach.
come on.
I love that. It was wonderful.
That's really cool. I've heard like rumors about how they might reboot Stargate and all this stuff like that too, and that kind of makes me nervous because I feel like all the reboots have not gone quite well. But Sam, if they were gonna do like a reboot of Flash Gordon, what would you think of that? Are you down
Yes,
with something
that
like that?
would be me, Nina. Yes, that would be me. Absolutely, yes. Well, no, what's cool about the sequel or the reboot, whatever you want to call it, some of these creative Hollywood guys, it's a very sensitive issue. If they're attached to it, you can't call it a sequel. You can't call it a reboot. This
He doesn't
is
think
my
we can use
creation.
the fence to go around.
Wow.
So no, but what's really amazing about this
Wait, why am I tied to
second
that?
Flash Gordon, let's just call it that. I guess not to be politically correct, but just it's crazy because all these
He's gonna
years,
die.
especially in Hollywood, when people use the vernacular, my project is in development. Well, you know what that means. It means that you don't have the money yet. Well,
Right.
the crazy thing about the part 2 of Flash Gordon these last 35 years was the people that came in and bought the screenplay rights to make that next movie, they were all extremely proven and reputable. Everybody from Steven Summers, Van Helsnick, to Neil Moritz, who did all the Fast and Furious.
I thought he was gonna die.
Fox Studios. the Fox Studios. They actually called me in 7 years ago and said, "Hey, we're going to do Flash Gordon. We're going to bring you on board. We're still writing it right now, trying to figure out if you're going to be Flash Gordon as you know, the older, obviously the older Flash Gordon, or the dad of the new Flash Gordon." And I said, "Great, let's do it, man. All for it." Well, that was in development. They say development hell, but that was in the development creative side for all those years. And then a year and a half ago, Disney bought Fox and brought in Watiti, you know, who
Dude, he's
directed
looking
Thor.
real good
Taika Waititi, yeah.
They
for an
hired
older
him
guy.
to develop the new Flash Gordon. It's been over a year. He's been writing it, and so that's where it is now. It's just a fascinating story that
That guy's
everybody
ballsy.
bought the screenplay rights 4 or 5 different times, but nobody followed through with the option and made the movie. It's crazy how that works. But
Yeah.
hopefully he'll
trying
make
to
it work.
do like set his like.
I hope so. I
target.
mean, he's a big name, so if anyone can do it
Yeah.
at this point, it would be someone like him. Yeah, I feel like he's a bit of a hit and
His
miss
name's
for me.
Game
Like
is easy.
I loved his Jojo Rabbit movie, but like his new Thor movie was terrible. I was like, what did you do to Thor? My God, what the heck happened to this guy? But he's just again, he's just
a name that will get backing, you know.
Yes.
Because when people hear it, they same thing as you, Nina. It's like some movies are really good, others are like a hit and a miss, but so far all of his movies seem to get made and funded.
Yeah, he's a big time name, so if anyone can do it, it's gonna be him.
But it wouldn't have any of like the same, you know, charm of the special effects, because they would be so different. Like we wouldn't have people with wingsuits, and you wouldn't be on like a moving platform.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like, what was that like? Fighting with Timothy Dalton on that set, where it was like the little spikes were coming through and everything.
Yes, it was the battle disc. Yeah, we
he
rehearsed
alive?
that for weeks. He was wonderful.
I don't see any
we
mages
had that
are
tension
dead down
back
here.
then. There was always a little bit of tension. Nothing that I created. I think it was created after World War II. Tension meaning between the Yankees, the Americans, and the Brits, the English. And I think my grandpa, I don't know, all I know is my grandpa said, I called him
Still
up
getting
when I
the
went to
levels up
England.
there.
and-
What is my stage?
and I
128.
realized I got the part. They flew a couple actors over there for 30 days of screen testing. I ended up getting the part, and I called my grandpa. I said, "Grandpa, I'm going to fly you over." He said, "Hell no." Talk to those Brits. I said, "Grandpa, wait a minute, excuse me. Weren't we allies in the war?" He said, "Yeah, but you know, the Brits." I said, "No, I don't know. I'm having a good time over here." So I forced him to come. It's amazing how every time we try to listen to rumors and gossip, or some story has started somewhere, and we just all jump on board. It sounds like what the media might do, right?
Yes.
Gotta love
And
to
we
hate,
just
right?
jump on board because we have not done what, ladies? We've not gone to the source. We've not gone to the source with our own eyes. So I brought my grandpa to England, and oh my God, he was like, you know, he had this face when he came, and I had my driver
After that, he's
Leslie,
probably like, these
take him
English
to a
guys are
local
not so
pub.
bad, I guess.
This is a true story. And he spent the next week going to the local pubs, befriending every Englishman. And he came back. He said, "Grandson," he said, "Oh my God, there's nothing wrong with these people." I said, "Duh." So it got to the point, I'm not making this up, we had to send out search parties to find my grandpa at the local pub.
That's hilarious.
Because why? He went to the source. All of us. Are you hear that? America, world, Mexico, Canada. We have to go to the source to get the facts and the truth. That's
So
what my
true.
grandpa did.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Mexico, because you know, you hear all sorts of stuff about Mexico in the news all the time.
trying to
and
heal
you're
the
like,
totem?
Oh, I don't. For a long time, I was influenced by that as well, and I was like, I don't even want to go there to vacation. And then I did come here to vacation, and I felt so in love with this place that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this place my home, because there's so many places on Earth that I feel like is like that. We all think of the worst because the media is constantly bombarding bombarding you with, you know, just the most negative thing that you could see about that place. And then once you actually go there and you're like, wow, I'm on the same level. I'm seeing the same people. We're all having food. We're sharing, you know, this culture and this experience, and it becomes a totally different thing. Sam, you
Hey,
are
3 more
absolutely
skulls.
awesome to hang out with. Rob, you too. Joey, my man.
Joey.
They gotta go.
Thanks for setting this up. You're amazing. Thank you. But before we wrap it up, can you guys just one more time give your pitch about this book, and also let's talk about what you got coming up next, Sam, your tours and everything like that.
Yeah, well, my pitch is simple. When I do about 30 to 40 Comic Cons a year, and a year ago when I told the fans, hey, I'm doing a comic book with Joe Archie, and they said, they pleaded with me, they said, whatever you do, Sam, do not fund it yourself. Don't private fund it. You need to include us, on Indiegogo. You need to include us. So I said, why? He said, because we want ownership. We want partnership. So by golly, I went with what the fans, what they encouraged me to do. And that's the simple pitch. He said, the simple pitch is, here we are. The book is, 95% ready. I think Joe, it's already written. It's he's just finishing up. Joe, you're finishing up the coloring and the lettering,
Just
right?
the lettering, yep.
Yeah,
Just
and
the
that's
lettering.
it. The pitch is simple. Just get the book, be a partner with us, and you get ownership with it. And also, we're going to get to meet. And when I do this comic book tour, and you come and you talk to me, this is your opportunity to tell me your story as well. How we've all, impacted your lives over the years and all that. And this book is it's going to make you laugh. It's going to put you at the edge of your seat. And I love what the lady said. Hey, well, most likely we'll probably do some reboots, sequels, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're very good. And it's my first comic book, my first graphic novel. And I'm
the sky's the limit from here, man. And I mean, look at this. This is an amazing sketch here. I absolutely love it.
Actually, that one there, that was my other son, Luke Archie.
Yeah.
And he's a very I got everybody involved. And it was he's a very good portrait painter, and he did a very good job in that. So that's one of the cards, his art.
Amazing. Look at this, lovely ladies over here.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
There's another one.
There she is. That's the princess. She's got some issues.
Monster issues.
Oh, I love this. Like, he's got this alien dude by the throat here. He's got the gun. I mean, like, this is cool. This is some cool stuff. There she is.
There she is.
Like classic space opera, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Much. Yeah. She's got a very good character arc, I hope.
It looks cool, man. It looks cool. And I mean, honestly, at this point, the bar from the mainstream stuff is set so low that I think you guys are going to be just fine as long as you stay away from all the political BS.
And you guys have fun and tell good stories. Because what I think that this is, at least it looks like everything I've seen for this, it just looks like you guys are just having fun making this.
Now, see right there. Now, Anna, Star Wars girl, right?
Yes.
Sam is wielding a proton cutlass. All right. And I'm very heavily influenced by my son Joe because he's like a #1 Star Wars fan. So we didn't do the lightsaber, but I got something similar to it.
I got you. Got your laser sword.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe told me today before the stream, because I told him that I was bringing Anna on, and he said, oh my God, if we start talking about Star Wars, I won't be able to stop.
Really
That's funny.
That's
funny. And I'm going to have these, by the way, we just started this for this weekend.
Definitely hit
I'm
level
going to
27.
have these copies of the art in Minneapolis. I'm going to have the color and the black and white line art. And if once you purchase the comic book, you just show me your, what's it called, the barcode? I'm not the barcode, the what?
Backer number, the backer number.
The backer
number. Yeah, and you'll get.
And then I'm going to sign this for you. and you're going to get this or the color one. Yeah. So we're just
Excellent.
starting this weekend in you say Minnesota.
Yeah, so this is going to give the people who actually go to visit Sam have the opportunity to actually get a real another perk that wouldn't be available to anybody else.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit more about what you got coming up next year. So this is your comic book tour. You got Minnesota next, and or Minneapolis next, and then you got Illinois.
Superman celebration in Metropolis. Okay.
Watch your back.
And then of course you got the Days of the Dead. I like doing horror movies. Why horror cons? Because believe it or not, Flash Gordon is officially categorized as a science fiction, fantasy, horror movie. I know it sounds crazy. And then we have to add after June, the last weekend of June. Where am I?
Yeah, let's
I
go ahead
am
and
in.
use this. One
it's
less
not on
stamina,
there
but
yet.
a little more
If
intellect.
you scroll down, we accidentally put it
Helped
in
out for my other stuff, so that works.
I am in. Keep going. Where am I? Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, I'd love to keep listening to them, but I hit level 27, and oh, I forgot I had flurry for when I crit and stuff. So I'll keep that going. So it's 20, 25. So it'll go up to 30% with all of them. Increase stack speed. That'd be cool. Yeah, I really want to keep going, but I knew this one was going to be short because it's a big day tomorrow. I have to wake up early. I got a pretty big chapter. It's my final chapter I have to do, but it's literally 100 pages when most of them were like 30 to 50. And it's going over all the state-specific stuff for Texas. So I'm like, oh, wow, I'm definitely going to have to pay attention on that one. So I got that, some errands to run, and, you know, all kinds of just little things around the house to make sure I'm good to go for, I believe, yeah, it's 6 p.m. tomorrow Central for Diablo. So I'm not going to stay up too late tonight. I'm going to wind down and then, you know, try to get my real-life stuff, you know, done and out of the way as fast as I can, and then I'll be on stream, yeah, hopefully an hour earlier than normal because that's when Diablo 4 goes live. That should be really exciting. I'm still dead set on doing the rogue. I have a bow rogue I want to do. I was looking at I've seen a bunch of videos the guys over at Maxroll GG did. They have one for penetrating shot for bow, but you know the big one is supposed to be for like the twisting blades or something, and I'll do that if I feel like I want to play melee at some point on that character. But I've an idea of how I wanted to do this poison bow build, and I've seen different legendary powers and uniques and stuff. I just want to see how far I can take it. Like when I first start up a new ARPG, you know, I don't always want to do just the straight up meta because even though you do a ton of damage and it's fun, you know, it could also get a little boring or stale. So I plan on playing other classes, other builds, even within the rogue as well. So I'm just gonna take it slow and steady and try not to burn myself out for that. So as always, when you want to know when I go live, the best way is on my Twitter. That's at myreality117. I stream here on YouTube. So if you like and subscribe here, that certainly helps out as well. And I'll just leave it at that. You guys take care, and I'll definitely see you tomorrow. Peace.